We have some interesting lighting going on today, but we are here to talk about another book review. I chose to do this at the exact wrong time of day. Sorry. Today we are talking about The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Brigitte Knightley, or Brigitte Knightley. Irresistible Urge was sort of, kind of, but not really originally Hermione fanfic. That means Draco and Hermione fanfiction. Let's start from the beginning. There is a fanfic called Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love, written of course by the same author, of which I did read last year. It was fine. I'm glad I read it. I wasn't like a massive fan of it, but it was fine. So then we were told that that book was being trad published. It's really hard to explain. Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal is not Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, but the two main characters are definitely based off of a Draco and Hermione archetype, let's say. Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy is about Osric. Osric is a gentleman assassin, if you will. He works for this much larger group of magic wielder assassins, but his magic is blocked. He's having all kinds of issues with it, and he gets a diagnosis that basically it's never going to get better. But if he does not have any magic, then the assassin order essentially will you out of the order. You're not allowed to be an ex-assassin. You're either an assassin or you are dead. So he needs to get this fixed without anybody in his order finding out. He goes to this healer. Her name is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Arin or Arine? Orion? Anyway, we're going to call her Arine for the purpose of this, and I'm sorry if that's wrong. Arine is a brilliant healer, and she works with a group of magicians that are healers. She doesn't want to help him because these orders hate each other. One saves people, one kills people. But he gives a huge donation to the hospital she works at to research for the cure for this thing. I think it's called like flower pox, and it is wiping out magical children. So she can't say no to him because they desperately need the money. So they work together to try to figure out how to cure his issues with his magic, but in the meanwhile, they're kind of opening up a bigger story about what is going on with this children's disease, and there's a bigger thing at play. This is a duology. This is book one of this duology. My issues with this book are very similar to the issues I had with the fan fiction. Brigitte's writing is definitely different. It's very wordy. And in that wordiness, there's a lot of words I have never heard before in my life. I had to Google some things. And in one sense, I think that's cool, but to have both characters kind of speak this way was a little odd to me. For me, it worked better in the realm of Harry Potter because I understood Harry Potter. I didn't need the world building. I didn't need all of that because I know where we're at. So it's more about just focusing on the banter and the story. But in this situation where it's a whole new world, characters we supposedly don't know, I don't think the wordiness works because a lot of the world building and the character development is sacrificed for this very clever banter. I feel like I never learned who these characters are outside of the fact that they're just very witty. This is the same issue I had with the Hurricane Wars, which was originally Rey and Kylo Ren fanfic. There wasn't enough world building at the beginning to explain why I cared about any of this stuff. In this case with Irresistible Urge, it's not the same story that Draco Malfoy was. Really, the only thing that's similar is the fact that she's a healer in both stories. And also because this is not a standalone, it's a duology, there was a real opportunity here to create a really interesting world before we kind of got into this snarky banter thing that I just really feel like we missed. I will say though, if you loved the fanfic, Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love, then I think you will love this book because they're very similar vibes. They're the same vibes. I just had the same struggle with both of them. At this point, I don't think I would read the next book in the series. I can't even remember what spice level this first book was. Could not tell you if there are any spicy scenes at all. I was just trying to finish it by the end. Ultimately, I gave it 3.5 stars because again, I think if you loved the fanfic, you will love this book. I don't think it was a badly written book. I think the book is going to do quite well, and I think people will love this book. It just didn't vibe with me. Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy does come out July 8th. What I do think is really funny is that this book and Rose in Chains, which is also based off Hermione fanfic, come out the exact same day. This is a comedy. Rose in Chains is going to be a very dark book. If you've read Irresistible Urge, I'd love to know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.